So, Bishop Martin, I'm very grateful to you for finding some time to talk to us. You've been a bishop for about 2 months.
Yes, just a little longer than that, since the end of January. So still quite new.
Yes, must be quite a change from your previous work at St Paul's Cathedral.
It is, yes, and certainly very different terrain that I'm covering, from the inner city of London to this very varied rural and industrial landscape.
Mm. And prior to that, of course, you were administrator of the Shrine of Walsingham,
yes,
where I'm heading.
Yes, indeed.
What was your first contact with Walsingham?
Oh gosh, I was first taken by some folk from church when I was a teenager to the National Pilgrimage many years ago, and was amazed, mesmerised by it, really. And in those days, it was sort of before the great days of clergy concelebrating. There were lots of little private masses being said all around the shrine, and it was an astonishing atmosphere of little bells tinkling. They got to the elevation and so on, and that was it was quite entrancing, really. And then the vast sort of gathering of people in the Abbey grounds. And then bit by bit, I got used to the pattern of weekend pilgrimages, and then did a short spell there after leaving. Before going up to theological college, as a sort of summer job, helping out in the shrine shop, and just saw the rhythm of, what it's like seeing pilgrims throughout the summer. So it's been quite an important thread that's run throughout my Christian life. Yeah,
and beyond the sort of mystique and the particular atmosphere there, why do you think it matters?
I think it matters because beyond mystique, of all the sort of cult, is the intimacy of a home. And I think if you talk to pilgrims, invariably and say, what is it that you like about Walsingham? They say, there's a sense of peace here that features very prominently. And I think that's because people feel safe, and it's a place where they can be themselves. And those are all the things that are characteristic of home at its best. And I think throughout people's lives, lots of young people go to Walsingham, but also in adult life, into old age. It is a place where people offload their burdens, and the sort of child within, each of us that still longs for somewhere where you can just sort of say, this is very, painful, or these things hurt, or I'm really sorry and I really messed up. All the sort of very simple, fundamental things about being human, can be said and expressed in very profound ways at Walsingham, because the home, is the place where you're loved profoundly and valued, irrespective of anything else. So I think that communicates itself to people in probably quite subconscious ways, maybe, but it's very real.
Yes, the Holy House does represent that place of safety, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
And warm.
And there's something about this sort of strong, motherly figure, clasping the Christ child. There's a whole lot of images around that as well. There's the sort of motherly love thing, but there's also the business of holding firm to the faith. Here is Christ who has given himself to us, but whom we hold, close to ourselves. There's a lot of that quite intimate stuff as well, that I think comes across in the visual images that communicate, profound meaning.
Yeah. You refer to holding firm to the faith. Obviously, you're well known as a spokesman for the traditionalist Catholic wing within the Church of England. Difficult times at the moment.
Difficult times for everybody, I think. I think one of the things that is... one of the important things about Walsingham is that it's clear what its kind of default mode is, if one could refer to a theological position in those terms. But I think it's also been the aim of recent administrators to ensure that it remains as far as possible a place that is open to everybody, irrespective of their theological viewpoint, irrespective of whether they have any Christian faith or none. And I think at the moment, as the Church of England faces the issue of how we move towards the ordination of women as bishops, my hope would be that we find a provision for the whole church, so that would enable women to be ordained as bishops, but equally that would enable those for whom this would trouble their conscience. There is a place provided that has theological identity to it. So I hope. So I mean, I don't think, I would not be advocating something for us, for traditionalists, which kind of skews everybody else's plans, but is a plan for the whole church in England that enables us to continue to live our lives together, and finding a way to span the differences with charity and understanding and courtesy without obliterating them.
Yeah, you've just been ordained as a bishop yourself. You're hopeful for the future of the Catholic way within Anglicanism?
Yes, I am, cautiously. I think I'm clear about the importance of its contribution to the life of the Church of England, the wider Anglican communion. I'm clear that it is a strand that identifies the nature of what the Church of England and the Anglican kind of tradition is. And I think without the strand of Catholicism, Anglicanism would be less than itself, really. I mean, I think it flourishes and is most fully itself when it's seen as this blending of Catholic and Reformed. And I think if either of those balances, those aspects of the balance is lost, then I think something of distortion enters in. And in terms of our ecumenical perspective, it seems to me that that's also true of what has to be, the nature of the Roman Catholic Church and Christendom. That it is Ecclesia semper reformanda. The whole kind of Catholic identity is not a static kind of fixed one, but is a church that is constantly, being grown and shaped and moulded by the Spirit as the tradition within it unfolds. So I think Catholic and Reformed is an important statement about being Christian, really.
I know you have a busy day. Thank you very much.
Not at all, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.